Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Cairo Local Time. In this segment, dear viewers, we're going to be tackling and discussing a very important topic, which President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is working very hard on this initiative, which is the Decent Life Initiative, and to what extent this initiative helped in improving the lives of the needy people living in rural areas today. In this context, dear viewers, we are joined over the phone by Mr. Raouf Gafaar, and he is a political analyst. A very good day, sir.
To you, my dear.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has always reiterated the significant role played by the Decent Life presidential initiative in bringing about the quantum leap in the level of various services provided to the citizens in targeted villages. How has the initiative changed the lives of people in the countryside from your own motto, sir?
First of all, we have to say very clear that the fact that a lot of services were lacking in the rural areas created a wave of immigration, and people started to leave their hometowns and villages and to move into larger cities to find jobs and to find services and to make life easy for themselves, which is, of course, a phenomena not healthy at all. So the ambitious Decent Life Initiative was directed to uplift the style of living of the Egyptians living in villages and in small towns, and help them stay and provide them with all the services they can get in bigger cities, all the way up to them, wherever their habitat is, so that they stay, they develop themselves on their own land, and this will ensure a durable and sustainable development all over Egypt. This is my opinion. The initiative started by providing, and when I'm talking services, I'm talking state-of-the-art service. I'm talking digital services, I'm talking numerical services, I'm talking IT in its best. And so they can stay and use all the services that were only available in larger cities where they live. I'm talking education, I'm talking health, I am talking housing. I mean, all things and issues that matter are there. Anything to improve the style of living of the individual Egyptian will be there. And this is, as you rightly said, it's a quantum leap towards sustainable development in Egypt in general. They started by poorer or less privileged, I should say, governorate, particularly in Upper Egypt, and then it will spread around all Egypt, but they started with the lower financial status governorate, and very successful so far. The amount and the quantity and the number of people benefiting from this initiative are increasing. I think now we have reached around 60 million Egyptians, which is really admirable, and I'm sure the figure will increase. And this is in a nutshell what I think of this initiative anyway.
Okay, sir, could you please shed light on the initiative's role in enhancing or generating more job opportunities for the villages, or for the people in the villages inhabitants, or for the people in the village that need these jobs?
Yes, of course. All the financial services, again, will be provided for wherever they live. So any individual living in a village or in a small town can start his own enterprise, can start his own business locally, and develop himself on land. And by providing with him with all the, as I said, financial services, banks, loans, different initiative coming from the Ministry of Solidarity or what have you. I mean, in a way that if he wants to start his own business, he can start there. Of course, the manpower normally is a little bit cheaper. Now that we have a very impressive infrastructure all over the country, so moving from one place to the other is not an issue anymore. Moving the products from one place to the other is not again an issue anymore. So he can start his own enterprise and business where he is. And as you rightly said, business creates job opportunities, and by this he can attract his hometown fellows to stay where they are, find a good, decent job, and no need to move to larger cities which are more expensive and are getting more crowded every day.
Perfect, sir. Sir, what is the importance of continued follow-up of the status of projects carried out as part of the initiative and dealing immediately with any challenges that may face the implementation process, of course, through coordination and cooperation among the state bodies concerned?
I mean, anybody starting a new business needs guidance. He might not be a professional, of course he's not, but he might not be knowledgeable at least of some of the aspects from the financial standpoint and others. So the idea of having all the governmental services near him will make life easy for him. He can inquire, he can ask for help and get it where he is. And of course, any financial institution going into a joint venture or providing a loan or even a donation for any individual, they are not leaving him. I mean, they are with him, helping him in every step of the way. So if he needs guidance and help in the stage of forming the company, they can help. In acquiring the machinery, if he is going into production of an industrial commodity or product, they can provide him with the suppliers, what have you. If he needs somebody to help with the distribution, they can again help. So in every step of the way, they are next to him, helping him out to ensure that his project is successful and sustainable.
Okay, sir, the initiative has initiated by, which is of course initiated by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in 2019. Its first phase was officially launched in July 2021. How far has this changed the lives of Egyptians in rural areas, of course, especially those who live in the countryside, sir?
Very noticeable, particularly in the upper Egypt governorates. Things are getting better, more enterprises and more companies and more small businesses are being implemented in these areas. We can feel it from one side, and on the other side, we can still feel the change that happened as far as housing, new housing projects are concerned, providing infrastructure. Electricity is everywhere. Now clean water again is almost everywhere. I mean, all the things that improve the lifestyle of individuals are being made available, and we can, anybody can see the number. If we're talking numbers, I think by the hundreds or thousands of new projects have been implemented in these areas, and more are coming. We are talking the rate of immigration is lowering, and on top of that, lately, within the context of decent life, of course, the government is being very giving a big importance to land reclamation. Now they are creating new lands that are reclaimed and are turned into arable lands, so that again they can serve as a base for the products that can be either sold for nourishment and food, etc., or transformed into semi-finished products, or maybe finished products that can sell either locally or even directed
Mr.
to
Raouf,
the...
of course, you're discussing now and highlighting on the infrastructure projects that took place under the
Sure.
initiative of Decent Life, of course. But also, how did this initiative help the citizens to enjoy health and educational and cultural services as well?
It's all in the same context. I mean, you cannot provide somebody with a new house without providing him with medical care. I mean, they used to travel for hours and hours to get to a close hospital or the nearest hospital. Now they have all the clinics and hospitals right under their fingers. Same thing with education. I mean, you want somebody to stay where he is and start his life in his habitat, you have to provide him and provide his children with adequate education so that they can learn as well as and as good as children in larger cities. And it's all complementing. It's an integrated project that touches all the sides of the human life.
Sir, the Decent Life Initiative is a great and unique program that does not exist in any other country, aiming to achieve social justice among all the Egyptian people. To what extent the initiative is seen as a leaping step for Egypt amid ongoing plans for development and economic reforms in the country, of course, sir?
I think this came to compensate people after they suffered from economic reform. We all, of course, had to suffer a little bit, but again, it was directed to infrastructure, and this is a pillar for any development. So this is number one. People had to feel that all what is happening is for their benefit. So here comes this initiative to address people and say, here we are, we never forgot you, but we were doing all this to provide you with a better life, and this is exactly what we are doing through this very ambitious initiative. I don't know if something similar is happening in other parts of the world, but I am sure that as an integral, complete initiative, I think ours is a unique example.
Sir, what kinds of problems or obstacles that the state has faced during its implementation of the Decent Life Initiative, and how has it solved these obstacles that are facing it?
First obstacle is how to stop immigration. People are no longer working.
I beg your pardon, stop what, sir?
Immigration to larger cities, or looking for better job opportunities in other parts of the country. By bringing all these possibilities right on their lap, they can stay where they are, and they can. So first, in my opinion, they have decreased the population concentration in larger cities. They are developing their own land and their own villages, and mind you, this is everywhere in all the modernized world. They have capitals, but they have big cities and small cities. Each one is fully developed and can compare with any larger city, except maybe for the area or something. But services are everywhere, and I'm talking services from A to Z. I'm not talking service one or two services. I'm talking social services. I am talking housing. I'm talking everything related to the human is provided to them exactly where they are.
Sir, finally, how far, from your own perspective, the state has implemented its 2030 vision for sustainable development through the Decent Life Initiative and other initiatives that seek to improve lives of citizens in Egypt, of course, sir?
The initiative is going steadily, successfully. The projection for Egypt 2030 has been very thoroughly studied and very meticulously and professionally executed, and it reflects and will continue to reflect on the well-being of the Egyptians. It will improve their life, it will raise their income, and it will transform them into a new generation of citizens that are more and more and more active in their society. Of course, I have to mention between big brackets that the government counts on NGOs to help implement this very important initiative, because maybe the government cannot reach everywhere, but NGOs certainly can, and the complementing work between the two entities will create the new republic and the new Egypt.
Sir, you finalize your words by the importance of cooperation between the non-governmental organizations and the government bodies in the country to make this initiative a more successful and more capable implemented initiative under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, of course, sir.